His favorite quote was from Superman. Some people can read War and Peace and come away thinking it's a simple adventure story.
Others can read the ingredients on the back of a chewing gum wrapper and unlock the secrets of the universe.
Lex Luthor. Cool.
One afternoon, during a slow workday, I threw a tennis ball against the wall 1,000 times. One of my coworkers had left some sitting on the counter for some reason and forgot to take the can home. They didn't matter very much on an ordinary day, but as they met my exhausted, glassy eyes, an idea sparked. A vision, a goal, a promise to end my boredom, and an oath to kill as much time as possible. But let's not be too dramatic here. Basically, I wanted something to do. Yet what I didn't know was that in less than an hour was enough time to discover the untold truth of consistency in between the ricochets of a dim yellow orb. How is this possible? How did a toy designed for country clubs and farm dogs motivate me to become a god of continuous progress? More importantly, how can it teach you to be someone capable of breaking through any obstacle? Just like the tennis ball, certain things aren't always as they appear. Sometimes your greatest discoveries lie beneath complete and utter boredom. Today, I will showcase why and how something as insignificant as a tennis ball can enlighten you to become the most powerful and happy person on the planet through dominating discipline and staying consistent in your life. But in order to become big, you must first start small. I pick up the ball and begin my journey towards 100 wall bounces. This is the easiest yet hardest part of any new activity, getting started. As I throw the ball, I quickly realize I'm not as coordinated as I thought I was. The ball shoots off the wall in every unexpected direction, and my hands aren't fast enough to recollect the ball while it's in the air. After 2 to 3 bounces, the ball always ends up hitting the floor, leading to potent frustration as I have to chase it down before it hits anything else in the room. I start to think about how stupid of a goal 1,000 bounces is. I laugh at how flimsy my reflexes are. I question if it's even worth it to keep going. Doubt, struggle, second thoughts. Worries of failure always plague the start of every new pursuit. But as I hit 50, 60, 70 bounces, I discover that the failure isn't so bad, as long as you keep going. Just start. 100, 101. The bounces are starting to come easier to me now. The tennis ball still hits the ground, but it happens less and less. At one moment, the ball pings against the groove on the wall, spinning back at me quicker than normal. Yet, my body is starting to anticipate the ball without even thinking. Just as I kept going before, my hand unconsciously catches the ball, but only this time, my hand is backwards. In an instant, I flick my wrist back, and the ball slings against the wall twice as powerful as before. I don't catch the ball again, but I've just learned something valuable. Instead of the slow motion of catching and building up momentum with my arm, I can catch the ball backwards using momentum built up from the wall for wrist power when I throw it again. I didn't need a bunch of developed science-based tennis ball theory to learn how to get better at throwing. I didn't need stacks of books or dedicated research about physics. Just through the act of doing, I master more than a person who vigorously prepares but never takes action. Technique only comes with practice. Right as I reach 200 bounces, my coworker walks in the room. I'm not the only one who's having a slow day, and he quickly catches on to what I'm doing. Even better, there's more balls left over. As he starts alongside me, I teach him what I've learned, and we carry on trying to get better and better with our techniques. Together we discover new tricks and ways to get faster and faster with the ball. The goal seems less monotonous now, and more engaging. Most importantly, fun. We laugh complaining about our jobs, new movies, and mediocre music releases, until suddenly in my head, I hear 286, 287, 288. Even in solitary hobbies, you can grow exponentially through having others around. What's even better, working with friends makes dull jobs fade fast. At 300 bounces, I peer over to my friend who is grinning like an idiot armed with a trash picker. He grips the ball and lifts the arm as high as he can in order to get more power on the tennis ball. Unfortunately, it doesn't work, and the ball hits the floor uneventfully. But now we have a new idea. We start using items to help us throw the ball. We swing it out of plastic cups, hit it with broom handles, and design a makeshift catapult out of a handful of rubber bands. The idea doesn't always pan out, but the creativity keeps us going strong, becoming enamored with a new way of throwing the tennis ball. If you are struggling, you don't necessarily need the help of advanced, expensive tools. However, using objects to assist you isn't a weak way of doing things. It's smart. or at the very least, amusing to experience. 400 bounces leaves us both parched, so my coworker and I take a small water break. It's a burning hot day with not many customers, but now we're pretty amped up from our little tennis ball game. As we demolish our water bottles, our older coworker comes in to take a quick break from the summer heat and uncovers 2 hyperactive young guys who won't shut up about a tennis ball. It's funny in hindsight, as she couldn't have cared less about our stupid little challenge, but we thought it was awesome. We told her every little part of it, and she couldn't help but smile at our passion. You don't need to push your craft onto every person you meet, but sharing your story is an underrated part of personal growth. If you wish to positively change the lives of those you care about, don't be afraid to get them involved through personal storytelling and show them how to throw the tennis ball. Halfway now, 500 bounces. It's a milestone for sure, but nothing happens. Both my coworkers had to tend to outside business, so there is no celebration. I idle by the cash register alone. I said before that the hardest part is starting, but I also find it hard to argue against the worst point of the journey being halfway. The lack of fanfare seems almost crushing, yet motivating. I'm by myself once again, and with nothing to wish me a job well done, moving forward almost seems demanded. Being alone with the ball doesn't leave me apathetic or isolated. It builds a foundation for my own love of progress, pushing me to the next bounce over and over again. The ball suddenly pinballs away from me at around 600 bounces, and it speeds out a crack through the door. I quickly whip around and run after it before I lose sight of where it lands. Yet, where it lands is on a grassy patch underneath a tall tree. Sunbeams peer down through the healthy green leaves, and the shade feels amazing. It guards against the summer heat beautifully. I pick up the tennis ball and I aim to head back to my post before stopping suddenly. I pause to soak in the scenery I never noticed or cared much about before. Throwing the ball is such a simple, isolated act. However, even something that small had the power to take me on an unexpected journey, leading to a stunning view I had never appreciated before. As I head back and reach 700 bounces, my mind starts to disappear. Before I was able to think, to wonder, to let the ball distract me from my boredom. Now, I can't even muster up a single thought. Mind fog isn't the right word, though. What I'm experiencing is flow, a cadence that drowns out any form of thought, feeling, or disturbance, and replaces it with a holy focus. Focus on one thing at a time, throwing a tennis ball. In the back of my mind, I am still faintly counting, but in reality, it doesn't matter what number I'm on. You don't think about the ball when you unlock a flow state. You think about the action. 750 or 799? 1,000 or 1? Numbers lose all meaning because once you align with your discipline and forget pride or accomplishment, you ironically master a flow that propels you past anything you could have dreamed about achieving in the past. 100 bounces snaps me out of my trance as the tennis ball hits a bucket full of cup parts, creating a plastic mess all over the ground. It's a headache to clean, but at least it gives me something to do. A few bounces later and more objects go flying. I fix every mess I make, but this is an important part of throwing the ball. My boredom is cured, my mind is stimulated. It's a positive activity, not on a screen, but I possess the power to hurt if I'm not careful. The ball is small, but if I don't control it, I can break objects around me. I can get too sucked into what I'm doing and not work when there's a customer. Even in a worst case scenario, the ball could injure others, mentally or physically. There are chain reactions the ball can take, both good and bad, so it's crucial to understand that you must maintain control of the tennis ball. The light at the end of the tunnel lies past 900 bounces. Excitedly, I bounce faster and faster with perfect precision against the ball. 910, 920. The rubber seems to echo my anticipation as the ball exhales. 930, 940. I stand forward and no longer casually lean against the counter. 950, 960. My knees bend and I flick my wrist almost feverishly. 970, 980. Noticeably, I'm not losing control of the ball and the count melts away. 990, 995. Right, left. 996, 997. This is it. I can feel the resolution. 998, 999. Only one final throw. 1,000. And now it's over. There isn't emptiness, but there isn't complete satisfaction. It just is. This is so confusing. Yet it's a perfect loop for to the very first throw. I'm alone, still asking myself, what's the point? In the beginning, as I threw the ball, I chased both a desire and a need to kill boredom, but more specifically, to be consistent, to have a reason to keep going. Both the ball and my job offered an obstacle I needed to overcome. However, I set out and accomplished what I wanted to do, and now both things still felt just as much of a means to an end as before. So why am I here? The answer, I don't know, and maybe that's okay. Some people believe they need to answer a riddle or have a key to finding consistency, but maybe that's just horribly wrong. Consistency isn't something that demands you need a meaning or even a reason. It exists just by showing up, just by making an effort, and just by throwing the tennis ball. Although, by now many of you have realized that this video isn't just about throwing a tennis ball. It's about you. I didn't find consistency in throwing a tennis ball. I didn't find consistency by working a job. I didn't find consistency in going to the gym. I didn't find consistency in making a YouTube channel. And I didn't find consistency through something beyond my understanding. I found consistency through all of it. My own journey and the lessons I learned just through showing up. The ball is not the answer. You are. You clicked on this video with a curious and open mind, and look at how far you've come. You think you aren't consistent, but I know that isn't true because you watched a full frickin' YouTube video. I know that isn't true because you wake up every day, you eat, you grow, you learn, you change, you adapt, and you show up to life every day consuming the world around you. I'm not sure where people got the idea they lack consistency, but through throwing a tiny tennis ball, I've learned that humans are potentially the most consistent creatures on the planet and are able of overcoming any goal or challenge placed in front of them. Truthfully, the only thing you lacked before clicking on this video is a powerful dream of the life you want to guide yourself to. Maybe you want to throw a tennis ball a bunch of times, or maybe you want to become a tennis champion. Either way, if you have that goal in the back of your mind and show up every day, I know you'll become the next Serena Williams, or at least the next Miles Bauer. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you need help creating a powerful dream, check out this cool video I made about discovering that life's purpose. Have a great day. Bye-bye.